Clay takes 48 hours. My ass, it does. Oh, we're live.
Oh shit! What? Oh god! Take two, everybody. Click.
I'm just fuming that this clay is not drying. Anyway, Freddy on Elm Street.
Yes. Hello.
I'm just fuming that this clay is not drying.
Oh my god.
Anyway, Freddy on Elm Street.
Oh god.
Yes.
No! My freaking god. Had this
Nice.
background.
Quite the start. Quite the start. Let me tell you.
God, I haven't done this in a week, so.
I mean, yeah, we're both tired. I get that.
And I forgot how to do it.
I mean, yeah, I get that.
But hello, hola. I don't know how you say it in French. Bonjour, everyone.
Okay. Weren't you in my French class?
No, I never took French.
Damn, I must have hallucinated that.
Man, you must have had a nightmare about that.
Boys, let me tell you, but we weren't on Elm Street.
Hey, there we go.
My drum set is in the bar. I cannot make the joke sound right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn. But anyway, we are talking Freddy's Revenge, aka Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. The film that Wes Craven didn't want to make, so he didn't make it, and someone else made it. I mean, that's pretty accurate, not gonna lie. He was just like, nah, fuck it, I don't want to do any more sequels. And Robert Shay's like, you must do sequels. And Wes Craven's like, no, leave me alone, Robert Shay. You don't understand what you're doing here. And Robert Shay's like, well, I'll take it from you. And then
David Chaston said, yeah, I'll do it.
He's like, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
So, what's up with the poll? I don't feel any of these. I didn't think it sucked. I didn't love it. I don't think it's meh. And I did see it. I think it's good. You should add it's just good. How am I supposed to vote on this, Austin?
I don't know. I mean...
Oh my god.
Should you be allowed to vote because you...
What is that supposed to mean, Austin?
I don't know.
Are you saying I can't vote because I'm a woman?
I don't believe I said that, no.
Oh, that's what you were thinking.
No, I'm pretty sure I was thinking that you saw the movie, you're on the panel, so you could give your thoughts just...
I wanted to give my extra thoughts.
Why would you want to do that?
Why not?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's a good question.
Yes. Anyway.
I don't even know what the fuck's going on anymore.
I don't know. I just wanted to put you in a spot. And then you just didn't find it. You didn't find the spot I was trying to put you in.
Yeah, even I still don't know. But, yeah, Freddy's Revenge. What the fuck is Freddy getting revenge on? I don't know. He's just like, I want revenge against Nancy. No, this other kid. Well, what did this kid do to you, Freddy? He bullied me and took my lunch money. Wait, that's not the plot? Oh, shit. Yeah, I don't really understand the plot anyway. So I'll just give a little bit of a, like I said, background on this film. So, yeah, like I said earlier, Wes Craven didn't want to make a sequel. Robert was like, we must have sequels. And Wes Craven's like, well, if you want sequels, I want nothing to do with it. And he just left. And then they got someone else to direct it and write it. And it came out in 1985.
Yes, a year after the first.
And I believe it made somewhere close to $30 million on a $3 million budget. So, I mean, box office success? I think so. I mean, summer blockbuster, anyone?
I mean, it wasn't a bad movie. It was definitely weird. I could see why people hate it. I could see why people love it. I personally thought that it was good. I didn't love it, but I thought it was good and enjoyable, and I definitely think it's definitely underrated, and it's not the worst, but not the best. It's like
Yeah.
I got kind of mixed emotions in certain parts, definitely, but I thought overall it's a good movie, and if I were to recommend it to you, I would say yes, do watch it.
I'm gonna say when it comes to my thoughts on this film, people consider this to be the black sheep of the entire Nightmare franchise because this is the only one. I wouldn't necessarily say it's the only one because there's another movie we're gonna be talking about that has nothing to do with anything else. But this movie is like completely just like a 180 from what the first Nightmare established, and they're just like, oh nope, Freddy's gonna do this instead, and it's like, well, that makes
It's
no.
one of those movies that you can skip in the franchise and you wouldn't miss anything, but I still recommend you'd watch it anyway.
Like it feels like one of those like Elseworld stories.
Yeah.
Like it feels like because Nightmare on Elm Street did have a comic book line.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. For some reason, this movie exists because they just wanted it to. And it's one of those movies that it's like, it really doesn't have that much of a purpose, but it's still not bad. It can hold up on its own. It's definitely its own thing.
Like
The
it's
only connections is the house and Freddy himself. That's the only connections. And of course, Nancy's diary that gives Jesse and his girlfriend Lisa, more information about what they're dealing with, which I thought was pretty interesting, actually. Because, I mean, it's normal for a girl to have a diary. I don't know why she left it in there. Maybe just in case somebody moves into the house. But,
no, you just forgot it.
I mean, either way, it wasn't really that hidden. But either way, some people can definitely argue it's lazy just so they can read out of a book and know it, but it makes sense to have a diary, in my opinion, from a teen girl, and just them reading it, and they're reading her normal entries. I really liked how they set it up though. I thought it was interesting that they found a diary, so they start reading it, and it's like normal girl's diary. She's talking about her boyfriend and how she thinks he's hot, and she wants to be with him. And they laugh at it until they start turning the pages, and then she starts reading about Freddy, coming at her at her nights, and you just see Jesse go, "Oh my God, I'm not crazy. This happened to someone else."
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best way that they could have done it, but I still thought it was nice, and it was believable to me. I mean, why the diary's still there? Nobody moved it. She didn't remember it. Whatever. I can gloss over that, but them just reading a normal diary that turns dark, I thought was interesting.
Yeah, it was a nice way to it doesn't necessarily tie into the first movie that much because, like you said, other than
Yeah,
Freddy in the house and
in the
Nancy's
diary. Yeah,
it's like those are really the only things that really is like, oh, it's a sequel to it, but at the same time, it's like, well, you could place this anywhere in the franchise, and honestly, it wouldn't change anything because, like, all right, so to give the basic premise of this film, because I know everybody's like, well, what's the plot? Well, if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. So here we go. Freddy wants to take over Jesse's body and live in the real world, I guess, because it works so well at the end of the first movie. So Freddy's like, hey, I want to be in the normal world again instead of being in Dream World where I'm unstoppable. And Jesse's like,
that's what
nah.
I was saying. It's like, why does he need someone's body when he's a dream demon? He's a god in people's dreams. And one of the arguments I did hear is that he wants to be reborn again, and what better in a young kid so he can live longer. But it's just kind of one of those things like, yeah, he's unstoppable in his nightmares, but what if he just wants to live again? He never really struck me as a guy who wanted to live again versus just go after kids in their dreams since he's so powerful in them. But, even if they just mentioned that he wanted to live again, he just said to Jesse, I am sick of being here and I want to live again. Something as simple as that. It would have just fixed the issue on why he wants Jesse's body so badly.
Instead, it's just more like, nah, I just want to do it anyway because I'm bored, type of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so he's like, Jesse, I need your help, man. I need to take over your body. Jesse's like, nah, fam, I don't want to do that. I got shit to live for, you know? And Freddy's like, nah, fuck you. I'm going to do it anyway. And so Jesse's having nightmares. He's becoming Freddy in a sense, you know, with the glove and stuff. Which, when we talk about our positives and our negatives, I actually have a lot of positives with this movie, but I also have quite a few negatives.
Yeah.
And so, of course, Lisa's trying to help Jesse, and Jesse, you know, is like technically on a killing spree, technically, because yes, it's Freddy, but at the same time, it's Jesse. So I'm gonna say Jesse's a mass murderer. Um, so
It's just there's some parts that don't make sense. Like the way that they did the scenes, it's like, how is Freddy building this illusion that he's popping out of Jesse's body to his friend? And like, I don't get it. It's like, I know demons can possess people, yes, but become Freddy actually? It just, that didn't make sense to me. Especially, it's like, how did Jesse like lift him up with his nails, or even like do the voice? You know what I mean? It's like, and then it switches and Jesse's all normal. So it's like, but the friends saw what was happening to him as well, and that wasn't in a dream. And I guess you can argue that he killed his friend because, you know, demonic possession, and they can have super strength, basically. But how did he actually turn into Freddy before his friend's eyes? I didn't get that. It's just like, it was just kind of like unbelievable to me.
You know, I still have a shit ton of questions with Freddy in this movie. Like, well, that's gonna be part of a negative, but I want to bring this up now. Is like, how the fuck does he still have like the powers that he would have in the dream world, but yet he's in the real world, but yet he can teleport? I'm like, huh? I'm like,
Yeah, I don't get it. It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I guess because he's a ghost, but he was pretty powerless when he was in the real world. When Nancy, you know, the
yeah.
most he could do is catch on fire and then burn her mom to death. Like, yeah, I guess he had some supernatural powers in the real world too, but like, not that much. He never disappeared. He just ran off.
True. So yeah, but I basically said the basic plot. He's just trying to take over Jesse's body, and you know, Lisa's trying to help him. You know, Jesse's going on a killing spree. Then there's a party, and he goes on a killing spree, kills his friend. You know, he kills his coach. You know, he kills everybody, and so it ends in the boiler room. Which, because we learn a little bit more about Freddy in this movie, with the, you know, he worked at, you know, like this fuck, a power, not a power plant, but you know, something like that. And so you get that.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's just some things that, it's not like a lot that we would learn because it's not like that important where he worked, but you know, at least you learn where he worked.
Yeah. So of course, this is kind of the fucking weirdest way that they kill him off in this film. Is like, Lisa just kisses him and then he just melts, like he's the freaking Wicked Witch of the West.
This is why, like, when I heard that this movie was a homophobic movie, that's why I put it together, is because, so I think it was David Chastain years ago. I don't know if this is like to save his own skin back in the day, or he really did mean for it. But when he said it was a homophobic movie because the powerful love of a woman saves Jesse, I pieced it together of Freddy's an allegory for his homosexuality, his inner demon, quote unquote. And he's constantly fighting it, and it even like upsets the people close to him, kind of. But instead of like upsetting them, it like kills them basically. And at the end, when Lisa kisses him, she frees him from his demons.
Pretty much.
But at the same time, it's just a lot going on that it can counter that too. Just like the way he's looking at stuff. But it's just like a lot of the subtext. It's just, you can literally take it either way about this movie.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, it ends with Freddy dying, of course, and then Jesse's like, hey, everything's back to normal, and then never mind. Freddy fucking is still alive in the dream world because they established this in the first movie. He dies in fucking real world, he just goes back to the dream world. Duh. So yeah, that was basically Nightmare 2 in a nutshell.
You kind of cut out.
Of course I did. But it's alright. I don't give a shit today. Um,
You're cutting all over the place.
am I?
Oh my. Oh my.
Are you sure it's not just you?
Oh, we'll stand by, guys. We have some technical difficulties.
What, can you not hear me?
I don't know.
Well, if you're responding
Am I
to me,
glitching out at all?
I don't know, are you?
Well, like, you sounded kind of muted and you kind of glitched. I don't know.
Well, is it better now?
Well, no, you're the only one cutting out for me. Hold on. Yes.
Yes, as in...
Yes, you're it's better now.
Oh, alright, well, that works better then. Well, I basically said that's the basic plot of Nightmare 2. So, do you want to get in your positives?
Yes. I even wrote them down. So, like, things I like definitely is Robert Englund's, like, I don't want to say like cameo, but like his little part as he's the bus driver. I don't know if anyone's caught that. That he's the bus driver in the beginning, but it's his human form, his Robert Englund form. It's very subtle because I never really noticed that before until like somebody in like a comment section, I remember, pointed it out because I wasn't really paying attention that much. So I thought that was pretty cool because like he transforms to Freddy anyway, so it's really cool to see his normal form, and that's just awesome. Another thing I really enjoyed is that Jesse, though he's not the only survivor because Lisa's there with him, he's still counted as a final boy, which is interesting because like the only time I've ever seen it is in Ash in Evil Dead. So it's a lot rarer to see a final guy because there's always final girls. That's a huge staple of horror movies. But like to have a final guy is pretty rare, and I like to see it. And like something that's even like I find interesting is that like he's a dude in distress. Lisa had to save him, or the fact that he's a male scream queen, and I can't name any other male scream queens except for him. And I found it cool and believable. I don't know why people complain about it. It's like he's literally facing Freddy Krueger, a dream demon about to murder him and take over his body and murder his friends. Like, of course he's gonna be scared. Like, and plus his scream is just so brutal and realistic to me. It's just like it's really good. Like if I heard that on the streets, I would be concerned that somebody's getting murdered. So like that's just some really good acting on Mark Patton's side there. It's like if Freddy Krueger was popping out of your skin and you had like the claws coming out of your fingers like in the movie, which first off, amazing prosthetics. Of course you'd scream like a little girl. It's just pure terror and it's great.
Which that scene was cool, by the way.
The acting is pretty good. I thought, there were some sour lines, of course. I thought Jesse's little sister wasn't really the best. But I thought people did a pretty good job, especially Robert. He's fantastic as always. He's always funny and dark and scary as Freddy. I thought even, was it Mark? Yes. I don't know why I thought it was Matt for a second. Mark was like amazing in this role. He was really good in this. Like I can see his terror, I can hear it in his voice. I thought he was pretty good. And something I really did like is how he was more of a sensitive character and how Freddy uses his sensitivity against him. Cuz like you always see like a lot of the male characters can handle anything, but you actually have can feel his terror as you like see him, and he's so very vulnerable, and he can't do this on his own, which is something I don't see too often. So I like it when I see it, and even like Freddy being darker, it's pretty interesting. I love the dark humor. Like I love his humor, but when he's like even darker, well, with his humor, it's more intimidating because he's mocking you.
Yeah. I actually will say, Freddy was really fun. Like, I think this was probably one of Robert Englund's better. Not necessarily he's great overall, but like this is definitely one of his stronger performances. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Is there any other positives you got? You guys can hear me, right? I'm not going crazy.
Oh, sorry, it just pretty low. Another positive I enjoyed is definitely the makeup and prosthetics and stuff. I thought a lot of the gore was really well done. Like especially like when the finger knives were coming out of his fingers. I thought that was pretty cool. And the way he slashed himself open and his skin was popping open, I thought that was really well done. Obviously, when Freddy got up and he pushed like the torso off, it looked a little very dated. But overall, I thought it was very interesting. Like a lot of the gore is nice. Like I remember this one guy, the one of the kills was just some random beachgoer, and he gets slashed across the face. And even if you see his face for literally a second, and even I can tell like the slash looked nice.
Indeed, it was. It's very, very interesting indeed.
So, what are some things that you didn't like, or what are some things that you did like?
Well, I'm actually gonna kind of replicate some of your stuff. First things first, Robert Englund, of course, is great as always. I think again, really good performance as Freddy. It's an example of this is probably Freddy at his most not necessarily scariest, but at his darkest. Like we see a New Nightmare where like he's just like it's kind of like this where he's not like jokey, but at the same time, it's jokiness in the sense of it's more sarcasm than anything.
Yeah.
It's just like more witty, not necessarily like comedic. You know, like because like 4, 5, and 6, that's when he just gets flat out. He just like a flat out Looney Tune. Like here, he actually came off as a threat. So
Yeah, 4, 5, and 6 are not very good.
Yeah, like he's a fucking goofball. So again, Robert Englund, I like his portrayal of Freddy. The acting overall in the movie, I agree, was good. It's not again the best acting in the world, but again, for a horror film, it's pretty good. Mark Patton is Jesse, great.
Yeah, I thought he was great. He's a good actor. He's a great actor. And Robert Englund, of course, is great.
Like Robert Englund, no matter how bad these
I even
movies
think
get,
Kim Myers, who played Lisa, was pretty good as well.
yeah, she was. And I will even say this about Robert Englund is like, no matter how bad these movies get down the line, he's still the best thing about it. Like, he's the only one who really gives a shit. Like, do you notice that? Like, even like Freddy's dead, he's probably the best thing about it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what are some other things I liked? There were like everything I think with Freddy in terms of the sequences I thought were cool. Like the one where Freddy's like peeling like the skin back and revealing his brain. I was like, all right, that was cool. Mainly Freddy and Jesse's interactions.
Oh yeah,
like,
definitely. That prosthetic was great.
Like their interaction together, I really do like. Because again, that's the point of the movie is Freddy's trying to kind of hang on, I'll be right back. All right, is it
Some
better
technical
now?
difficulties.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Sorry, you were just like really delayed.
Is it better now?
Yes.
All right, cool. We're back in business. All right, so, um, yeah, their interactions together are great. I think the chemistry between all the characters, I think, work. Yeah, Freddy and Jesse. You have
Yeah.
Jesse and Tina. No, not fucking Tina.
And Lisa and his
Lisa. Jesse and
Lisa.
Lisa. Jesse and Grady, which I think Grady's a cool side character. Like he's not not a stupid, he's kind of a comedic character. Um but he's more like the side character where he's just like oh well, like he's because like I'll give an example, like where Jesse's, he goes to Grady's house because he fears he's gonna turn to Freddy, and he's like, yeah, you want to, someone. Jesse's like, oh, someone's trying to get into my body, and then he's like, yeah, it's Lisa, she's in the cabana, but you want to sleep with me, like he's
Yeah, I
kind
thought
of
that was
rude.
funny.
I thought it was like a jackass, but it's amazing. So I like
Yeah,
that
it's pretty
stuff.
funny. Yeah. Yeah.
The
He's
parents,
like a likable asshole.
yeah, he's a likable asshole.
That's how friends are. Dude, the parents are awful. One thing I didn't like is like they literally do not care about their son. Like when Jesse was found naked, confused on a highway, his father's like, "What drugs are you doing?" Not, "Hey, what happened to my son? Why is he in this state? Is he okay?" Like they did not care. They didn't react at all. They were just like, "Oh, there goes Jesse. Good old Jesse, constantly getting possessed."
Pretty much. Like they're like kind of relatable parents, but at the same time they're not. Like the mother, you could tell there's a concern there, but the
No,
father's
I
like,
don't find them.
oh, taking drugs. Like I'm like, all right, that's just kind of.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the house, being like super hot, like everything's
Yeah.
melting
Like the
and
boiler room. It's everything's so hot.
yeah, like, and because again, it's playing off, the possession part. So Freddy is like starting to take over, and everything's starting to melt, and it's like you start to see that through like small little like details like that, which I appreciate. Or like earlier on, Nancy's diary, not necessarily the most clever way of doing it, but it's a nice way of kind of tying it into the first film, even if it's not.
Yeah, in a believable teenage way.
Yeah. What else? Again, when it comes to like the nightmare sequences, I think they're really good. I think it is a really interesting idea of how do I put this?
So what are some things you didn't like?
Well, there's still other things I liked, but the opening I liked. Of course, Freddy coming out of Jesse's body. It might look a little dated now, but yeah, it still looked cool. And of course, Freddy saying "You're all my children now." I thought that was really cool. That's just iconic.
Yeah, it's
Every
kind of.
man, I mean, that's really about it in terms of my likes and my dislikes. No, not just my likes. Dislikes. Okay, so when it comes to dislikes, there is quite a few. The coach character, I thought he was just a little out there for me. I think he was just a stereotypical drill sergeant who, he's just hanging out in the
He just
BDSM
wasn't
bar.
nice. I don't get him.
Like, I think that was the point. And like when you see him die, it's like, oh, like I'm supposed to feel bad. Like, no, I was actually like, thank God he's dead. Like he just came off more annoying.
His death scene was like really weak.
Yeah.
The scene was just like really weird. And one thing I didn't get is like the next day when they find his body, school's going on. Like, why you find someone brutally murdered in your school and you're gonna have school the next day?
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, we got some comments here. Deshaun, how are
I
you?
just thought that was kind of weird.
Then we got Paul's saying, why the hell you guys are talking about shitty horror movies? Why not new movies like Space Jam or Black Widow?
Because a lot of new movies aren't that interesting to talk about. And this is a horror movie stream.
Exactly. No wonder why no one is watching this stream. Well, maybe because people are fucking busy.
All right. I like how it's the same name, so you could tell it's the same guy coming in to say it.
Exactly. And you know what? Both these guys getting timed out.
You don't like it, don't watch it. Just go away.
Exactly. Fucking, you want it. You don't care if you don't want it. If you
Leave
don't
your
want
dislike
to
and go away. We don't want you here.
Yep, pretty much because you want. It's like again.
It's like we're talking about it because we want to talk about it. This is our stream, not yours. And if we want to talk about old movies, we will talk about old movies because old movies are far better than the garbage coming out now.
Exactly. And also, don't give that attitude in the chat, please. Like that's not cool. So, there. That's that. And Paul, if this happens again, you're getting blocked. Just want to let you know. Because do not talk shit in the chat.
I don't get people who just come in to say that. It makes no sense. Like, you got nothing better to do than just harass. Well, I wouldn't say harass, but just come in and just be annoying when we just want to talk about things for fun.
Exactly.
Like, no, we're having fun. Better be rude about it.
It's just people who have no lives. That's exactly what it is. That's just me being blunt. Sorry. But anyway. Yeah, I thought the coach character just didn't work for me. Some of the scenes were weird, like the bird just randomly, exploding and just I was just like, okay, really? I understand what they were going for, but that was just dumb. Like, there's just a lot of scenes.
Yeah, I thought the bird exploding was a bit out there because it just didn't make sense.
No, it didn't.
Because, like, I know that it's really hot, but why would he explode? And why did the father think that Jesse did it? Like, first off, there's no firecrackers. Why did he think Jesse did it too? Why would Jesse do it? There's never any indication that Jesse's a troublemaker.
Exactly. So the bird just, and I agree. I just think that explanation from the dad was stupid. As far as what else I did not like, I just think the overall plot is just stupid because Freddy just magically wanting to come back to the real world, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just like, oh, he wants to do it because he wants to do it.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
He doesn't explain why he wants to come back, especially in like a teenage boy's body, just a random teenage boy's body. Like, what connection does he have to Jesse other than living in Nancy's house? Like, he doesn't have a connection to Nancy's house specifically. It's a connection to every kid on Elm Street. Elm Street's his thing. That's the whole point. So it's like, why Jesse specifically? What about a kid that's already been there? Why wasn't this his plan last year with Nancy or something?
Exactly. So it feels out of the blue. And the other thing I did not like they just got rid of the glove and just replaced it with just a hand with the long blades. I just thought that was an unneeded change. It was clever.
No, he had the glove. He had the glove. It was on Jesse a lot too.
Well, let me rephrase this. He had the glove for a good portion of the movie, but at the end he didn't have the glove. It was just his hand, but it was, the finger knives without the glove, if that makes sense.
No, I didn't. Oh. To me, it looked like a glove. It's just because he was, I don't know. I didn't probably wasn't out there like paying attention or something, but like it looked like the glove to me.
No, the last time I checked, it was just.
Well, Jack's Law saying we didn't like it. I did like it. There's just some problems with it, you know. I liked it, but I didn't love it. There's a lot of problems with it, but I still do like it. Don't get me wrong. I was talking a lot about what I did like before you came in.
Yeah, because even though I agree with you, I like this movie. It's just a movie I don't go out and seek. Like if it's a movie that's on TV, I would watch it.
It's got a lot of problems with it.
Yeah. And another thing I didn't
Good
like
movie, a lot of problems.
Is, man, I don't really know what else I really didn't like, because really other than those things, like I guess maybe the thing I didn't like was I actually know what I did not like. The thing I did not like was the way Freddy gets killed off. I think him just getting kissed, I thought that was just completely stupid. I'm like,
yeah, it was really dumb on how he got killed off, because it didn't make sense. Like, just a kiss is gonna kill Freddy Krueger, a nightmare demon.
Yeah. If you replace all the male actors with female actors, would you like it then, Austinator? Think hard on it. No, because the plot of the movie has to work. If the plot doesn't work, regardless of what kind of actors you have, it's just never going to work. And an example with
But the main lead actor was really good.
Yeah, he was. So the way Freddy goes out, I didn't like. The BDSM bar, I just thought
it was really out there.
It was just like, what was the need for this? Like, there were a bunch of scenes in this film that I feel like were just not needed.
I don't know, like the whole tying up the gym teacher was weird.
Like, there were scenes in this movie that you could have cut out, and it probably would have been better. Like, you see Jesse dancing. I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with Nightmare on Elm Street? It feels like I'm watching, like, a bad 1980s music video.
Yeah, Jesse's dancing became one of those iconically bad but memorable things. Like, when you watch it in the movie, it's very cringy, but it's very fun to reference.
Yeah, true. And Jacksaw, I disagree. The first movie actually had a good plot. This movie has
the first one's really good.
The second one is just very confusing and it makes no sense. And actually, this is something I think I brought up earlier is, the fact that Freddy fucking, just is like, he still has the same powers in the real world, but, as like in the dream world, I'm like, that makes no sense. Because they established in the first one.
It doesn't, because he's a dream demon, not a demon.
Exactly. Like in this.
That he's weak without his power in the real world. Nancy said it herself.
Meanwhile, he's getting stabbed, and then he's not like bleeding or anything. It's not until like he's like, "Oh, I love you, Jesse," and then he just starts bleeding out. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I thought that was stupid.
I don't know why, like, some of it didn't make sense. It's like Jesse, like, being inside of him, and, like, he's got to, like, be pried. It's just, I don't know. It's just, like, the way they set up certain things. Like, if he's possessing him, why is Jesse inside of his physical body? If he's a dream demon, why is he got powers in the real world? Why is he going after people in the real world for no reason that have no ties to Jesse? A lot of it just doesn't make sense, and I feel like they put it in there just for, like, kills.
Yeah. Something like that.
I mean, the pool party was an interesting scene. It just didn't make sense.
Exactly. Like, him teleporting, him just vanishing, and then just appearing out of nowhere. Like, the pool getting hot.
It only works like that in the
dream.
It only works well in the dream world, but the pool getting hot was interesting, like the boiler room to show that he's coming. But I don't know, it's just like, how does he do it in the real world?
Exactly. And actually, this is one thing I will say. My positives is that when Lisa is going into the plant or where he worked, you see two like Rottweilers, and they have I think the Coach's face and Brady's face on these dogs, which I'm like, holy shit, that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
fucked up. Which that's Freddy's for you. So I think that was cool.
Yeah.
Um, as far as what I didn't like, I think other than those things, I don't have a huge problem with it. It's just, it's not. Here's the thing. If you compare it to the first one, yeah, this one sucks. But I still enjoy this movie for what it is. It's just there. It's
It's
not
on its own good.
like it doesn't
Terrible.
harm
I like
anything.
it. I just don't think it's the best because there's a lot of problems.
Like, it's not better than the original, but it's not bad enough that it kills the franchise. It's just all right. And we got JJ in the house. What's up, JJ? Good to see
Yeah.
you. So, Nightmare 2 is just, for me, it's all right. Like, it doesn't hurt anything. It's just there. What are some of your negatives?
So some of my negatives is the beginning is interesting, don't get me wrong. It's just like who are the two random girls there? All right. Cuz like that had me thinking at first is cuz they always like in the dream is always people you'll see later on or who are important to the story. Otherwise it's just like why are they there? If you wanted it to like a realistic dream when all the kids disappear and it just be Jesse on the thing because he's in such danger, he's all alone. But no, there's just some two random girls there. They're not important to Freddy or Jesse. They don't return. They're just there. They're never mentioned or anything. It's like, why wouldn't Freddy just mess with him solely like he did with everyone else, unless they were all connected in a dream?
Yeah, something
I
like
don't
that.
know. But like, it wasn't even like in the first movie where Freddy was the hall monitor chick, where like it was him posing as a girl. Like he didn't pose as the other two girls. They were just kind of there. And like another thing is like bringing Freddy to the real world sounds interesting, but it just doesn't work. At least to me, he's a dream demon, so why would he leave the one place that makes him a god? Things I mentioned before. Like it's interesting seeing him want to take over Jesse's body and possess him and become more real, but it just like why? He's more powerful in his dreams. Why does he need to possess a teenage boy?
Pretty much.
And it's just like I found some scenes just don't really stop. Like they just like don't really end. I mean, they just kind of stop and the next scene starts. And it's like, okay, there's not really a rhyme and reason in some parts. And I guess some people can argue kind of like a dream. There's no really rhyme or reason why everything switches. But it's not even like in dream sequences. It's just kind of there. Like in a movie making a standpoint, it just is kind of amateur.
Yeah. I can see that.
And the ending, I don't know. The acting in the ending was just kind of meh, Especially when Lisa's friends like great party. Like all your friends just died. What do you mean great party? Like that line's just so bizarre. And I guess cuz Freddy pops out of her chest. It's supposed to be a dream or whatever, but I don't know. And I just noticed while watching there was this weird cut between her sitting there and Jesse's hand popping out. She slightly moved. It's just like an obvious cut, and it's just like it was really something I just noticed. It was really distracting.
Okay. Anything else in terms of negatives?
No, I don't think there's much of anything else. For most part, some things are pretty average. There's some things that are cool, some things that are bad. Overall, it's just an okay or good movie, depending on how you look at it. Something I would definitely say, if you wanted to check it out, I would say yes. And it's a hit or miss movie for a lot of people, and I wouldn't say it hit for me, but I enjoyed it and I didn't regret watching it.
All right, good deal. So I'm gonna ask, what is your final grade for Nightmare 2?
So my final grade for Nightmare 2, I'm gonna give it a number 1 and a letter 1. So definitely like a 5 out of 10 or a C minus. But I wouldn't say that you should stay away from this movie. Definitely check it out, but it's definitely not the best. It's not great. It's just okay, but it's not a waste of a watch.
All right. I actually respect that. I'll give this movie a C, and I'm gonna probably agree with you. I'll give it a 5. It's average. Like, I don't know what to say about this movie. It's just okay. Not anything terrific. It's not bad. It's not great. It's just there. Like, I can watch this movie. I can sit down. It's a popcorn film. It's not like a movie. It's not like Dream Warriors or New Nightmare or the first Nightmare on Elm Street where it's great. Like, it's just there. Like, it's kind of like, and I'm going to use this example. Imagine somebody left something gross, right? And it's just, and then eventually over time, it's not gross anymore. It's really not as bad as people make it out to be. Now, to the people who say it's like the best movie ever, I'd say, well, that's not, I wouldn't go that far. But I'd say just watch it if you want. I mean, it's not a movie you have to go out and see because it's not a movie I would rush out to see.
If you don't like it, I can get it. But if you do like it, I can also get it.
Yeah, pretty much. So I would definitely say it's okay. One thing I will say that I did like is the music as well. And actually,
I did think the music was pretty good in some scenes. It really worked pretty well, actually.
And actually, another negative that I just thought of is I thought the kills in this movie were not as creative.
They didn't really show much for the kills either. Like you see the afterwards, and the prosthetics, like I said, do look pretty good. It's just you don't really see the kill itself.
Like, let's look at Nightmare 1's kills, right? You had the bed sequence, the Tina death, you had Rod's death.
Oh, yeah.
Like, those deaths are great. Now you look at Nightmare 2, you have the coach's death. He gets hit with balls. He gets whipped with a towel.
Yeah, and this movie is pretty toned down, for sure.
Yeah. And
trying to look for the right words to put it.
Grady just gets stabbed. Everybody, and then the pool party massacre. It's just freaking Freddy just going around killing people. It's like it's not as creative as Nightmare 1's, and it's definitely not as creative as Nightmare 3's, because Nightmare 3 is where they get really creative, and it's fun. Whereas here, I don't know. It's just I felt like the kills were toned down. It just didn't feel as creative,
Yeah, like some of the transformations though, like the way the nails coming out of his fingers, I thought that was pretty creative, but the kills themselves they were all right. Good for what they are, but definitely toned down from the first movie.
Oh, definitely. So we both agree that it's just toned down. Like, it's just okay. It's average. What is your expectation for Nightmare 3?
It's gonna be good.
I would like for you to say that Nightmare 3 is a fantastic movie. Now,
well, I gotta see the movie. It's been too long before I could say fantastic.
True, but But I think what will be interesting with Nightmare 3 is like we can talk about if it's going to be better than Nightmare 1. I think to an extent it is. I think
I gotta watch more of it before I can say. Definitely, like I gotta be more confident to watch it again, so I can, say it.
And you know what? I actually really like doing these reviews and like actually reviewing like these old school like Nightmare movies because you look at like horror franchises today and it's like you think about it's like without Nightmare on Elm Street, horror movies wouldn't be where they are.
Well, for one thing, it's fun talking about older movies, especially ones that don't really get to be talked about much anymore, or if they are, it's like these big name channels. It's fun to talk about them because we both love these movies and we want to share our thoughts about it and like maybe things that some people never pointed out before, and it's fun to talk about it. I like watching these movies and we can compare it more to movies now and why maybe they're not as good as they used to be.
Exactly. And there is one thing I do want to bring up before we go. I want to go back to what Paul said. This is just a basic thing I want you guys to understand. If you guys don't like what we're doing, don't watch it.
We're just here to talk and have fun. I'm getting so salty over it.
like if you're gonna really be pissed off over like us not talking about Space Jam or Black Widow, like I'm sorry, go watch other channels who do that.
It's not a Saturday night thing. Our Saturday night thing is talking about horror movies. We're not here to talk about comedies. We're not here to talk about superheroes. We're here to talk about horror. That's not horror.
I mean, we could talk about it. Like comedy.
But
like
that's not what tonight's topic is.
Oh yeah, true. But I mean this is the topic for like the next few weeks, so I mean
we can definitely talk about Black Widow when everybody sees it.
Exactly.
I never saw Space Jam. I'm not going to talk about a movie I didn't see. I don't want to see Space Jam, so I don't want to talk about it. I saw Black Widow, and I'd be happy to talk about that with you, Austin, if you did see it, but I don't know if you did.
No, I didn't.
Therefore, we cannot talk about movies we did not see.
Yeah, and also it's more fun to talk about older movies because older movies right now are just better.
They are better. They're more interesting. I want to talk about it. I love horror. I want to talk about my thoughts on horror. And it's just all over fun, Overall, it's just fun to talk about.
And you know what? It's like, and again, like I said, you don't like it, just don't watch it. Just move along. I can't accept that shit in my chat. If you're going to talk shit, come on. Like, don't be a dick. Like, that's all I'm asking. Like, you can talk shit, just don't fucking act like, oh, well, I don't like this. Well, if you don't fucking like it, don't watch it. It's not that big a deal. I don't mean to drag that out, but, like, come on. It's just basic shit, And I'm sorry you didn't like the stream. That's all I'm going to say. If you didn't like the stream, you didn't like the stream.
Oh, well.
Exactly. Oh, well. Because it's whatever. It's not a big deal. Because like I said, it doesn't really fucking matter to me. Like, you don't like a stream that I do, that's fine. You don't gotta like everything I do. It's like, again, this might not be the best stream in the world, but I try.
We're just here for fun. We're not here to be professionals. We're not. Exactly. We never said we are.
YouTube to me is not a job. I do this shit.
It's something for fun.
Exactly. And I don't intend for this to be a job. I want this to be a hobby. I want this to be something where I can get together with my friends on, a certain day of the week. We talk about a movie or we just talk random shit.
Yes.
Like Tuesdays, we talk Loki. we've been talking Loki for the last few weeks. You know, it's me, a couple people from school. You know, Angry Care Bears included. We sit around, we talk about shit because that's what we do.
Yep. Just a bunch of friends who want to talk about things we like or don't like, depending. We just want to share our thoughts because these streams are like our review type diaries to share with the world if they want so choose to watch.
And again, I'm not going to be a prima donna and say, oh, if you don't like my stuff, then you should just get out of here. Like, no, if you don't like my shit, just tell me you don't like my shit. Don't be a dick. Like, be constructive. Tell me what I can do to change. Don't be like, oh, well, I just think, you shouldn't be doing shitty, like, horror movies. You should be talking about newer stuff. Like, sorry, I don't want to talk about newer stuff. Sorry.
It's just like, yeah, we're not going to cater to someone on the internet, but you know what? It's done and over with. Oh, well.
I'm not here to be, how do I put this? I'm not here to be, I'm just not here to be like, I'm not here to just be like, hey, I want to be, like, I just want to be here to have fun. All right. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, Paul, if you think the content sucks, I would like to see you make better content.
And Paul, this is where
Please, Paul, please make some good content and show me.
And Paul, you are officially blocked. I told you what was going to happen earlier. Just saying. Just want to let you know. Not trying to be that guy, but do not come on my streams and, do that.
I love how people always say it, and it's the ones with no content. So it's like, all right, so make something better. Prove to us that you can say that.
They're just trolls.
Like, I know everyone's to each their own. It's always the accounts with no videos who just go on there to say it because they got nothing better to do.
Exactly, that's what it is.
We gave them too much screen time anyway. I think we
did.
Gave him too much.
But yeah, no, we're going to talk about 3.
We're talking about all of them.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about all these films, whether y'all like it or not. And Jackson's like, so you're going to be doing 3? I did not watch the first 2. To stop now.
Oh, yeah, we're doing all of them. We're doing the whole franchise.
Hell yeah, Jacksaw, you're going to be here for the ride just like I know a lot of you are. Austinator will be as big as long as he never stops. Thank you, Jacksaw. I appreciate it.
Jacksaw is a real one.
Yeah, Jacksaw, you're a cool dude, man.
You're a real one.
We're learning more about each other. Exactly. Like, this is what it is. Like, if you don't know us, you're going to get to know us, essentially.
Yes.
So,
you always learn something new every stream we do. We always reveal something, whether we want to or not.
We have Ninjoid in the house. What's up, Ninjoid? Jackson says, I could give it a 6. We need to know if it was going to work. Now we know. Yeah, pretty much.
It was like a shot in a dark type movie. They wanted to try something new. And even if it didn't work, I respect them for trying something new.
So, it's just, yeah, exactly. If they try, then great. It's not necessarily a bad thing.
That's the problem with most movies nowadays, is that, like, they don't try, and anytime they try to do something daring and bold, it's literally just there to make the fans upset and then blame them on the fans for being upset. There's nothing like actually trying, like, wow, I think this is a cool idea. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to give it my all. It's just always like, even if they got a cool idea, they're like, oh, it's going to make money anyway, so just pump it out. There's nothing new and exciting. Like, even if it's bad, I respect it for trying.
Yeah, exactly. So, with that being said, we are going to wrap it up. And a lot of that time was, bulk of it was the review. Another part of it was just me ranting on about other things.
I mean, every review is us ranting about something anyway.
Exactly. So, before we wrap up, Yeah, do you have anything going on?
Not much. You know, I got some stuff going on my channel when I feel like it. Angry CareBears on YouTube. I haven't been streaming on my Twitch, Angry CareBears 2, so but if you want to check me out, go ahead.
Good deal. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, I really don't have anything else going on right now. My schedule's filled up as it is. So I can't really do much in the sense of, like streams, but we'll see how everything goes.
Yeah.
Right? So
But next week is Friday 3, and I am pumped to talk about it.
hell yeah. So with that being said though, guys, we are gonna wrap this up. Thank you guys for watching. This is the Austinator signing out.
See ya!
Later, guys.